J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling conceived the idea of Harry Potter during a train ride in 1990. By the time she finished writing it 7 years later, her mother died, she divorced and lived in near poverty, and her book was rejected by 12 publishers. What is so remarkably inspiring about Rowling's story is that despite living in near poverty and despite being rejected 12 times, she persisted with her dream to tell the world a story about the magical life of Harry Potter. She is now a billionaire, the first author to become one. Let's see what she is doing to help the world. J.K. Rowling Philanthropy. In 2000, Rowling established the Volant Charitable Trust, which uses its annual budget of £5.1 million to combat poverty and social inequality. The fund also gives to organizations that aid children, one-parent families, and multiple sclerosis research, anti-poverty and children's welfare. Rowling, once a single parent, is now president of the charity Gingerbread, originally one-parent families, having become their first ambassador in 2000. Rowling collaborated with Sarah Brown to write a book of children's stories to aid one-parent families. In 2001, the UK anti-poverty fundraiser Comic Relief asked 3 best-selling British authors, cookery writer and TV presenter Delia Smith, Bridget Jones creator Helen Fielding, and Rowling, to submit booklets related to their most famous works for publication. Rowling's 2 booklets, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and Quidditch Through the Ages, are ostensibly facsimiles of books found in the Hogwarts Library. Since going on sale in March 2001, the books have raised £15.7 million for the fund. The £10.8 million they have raised outside the UK have been channeled into a newly created international fund for children and young people in crisis. In 2002, Rowling contributed A Foreword to Magic, an anthology of fiction published by Bloomsbury Publishing, helping to raise money for the National Council for One-Parent Families. In 2005, Rowling and MEP Emma Nicholson founded the Children's High Level Group. In January 2006, Rowling went to Bucharest to highlight the use of caged beds in mental institutions for children. To further support the CHLG, Rowling auctioned one of 7 handwritten and illustrated copies of the Tales of Beedle the Bard, a series of fairy tales referred to in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. The book was purchased for £1.95 million by online bookseller Amazon.com on the 13th of December 2007, becoming the most expensive modern book ever sold at auction. Rowling gave away the remaining 6 copies to those who have a close connection with the Harry Potter books. In 2008, Rowling agreed to publish the book with the proceeds going to Lumos. On the 1st of June 2010, International Children's Day, Lumos launched an annual initiative, Light a Birthday Candle for Lumos. In November 2013, Rowling handed over all earnings from the sale of the Tales of Beedle the Bard, totaling nearly £19 million. In July 2012, Rowling was featured at the 2012 Summer Olympics opening ceremony in London, where she read a few lines from J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan as part of a tribute to Great Ormond Street Hospital for Children. An inflatable representation of Lord Voldemort and other children's literary characters accompanied her reading. Multiple sclerosis. Rowling has contributed money and support for research and treatment of multiple sclerosis, from which her mother suffered before her death in 1990. In 2006, Rowling contributed a substantial sum toward the creation of a new Centre for Regenerative Medicine at Edinburgh University, later named the Anne Rowling Regenerative Neurology Clinic. In 2010, she donated another £10 million to the centre, and in 2019 a further £15 million. For unknown reasons, Scotland, Rowling's country of adoption, has the highest rate of multiple sclerosis in the world. In 2003, Rowling took part in a campaign to establish a national standard of care for MS sufferers. In April 2009, she announced that she was withdrawing her support for Multiple Sclerosis Society Scotland, citing her inability to resolve an ongoing feud between the organisation's northern and southern branches that had sapped morale and led to several resignations. Other philanthropic work. In May 2008, bookseller Waterstones asked Rowling and 12 other writers to compose a short piece of their own choosing on a single A5 card, which would then be sold at auction in aid of the charities Dyslexia Action and English Ben. Rowling's contribution was an 800-word Harry Potter prequel that concerns Harry's father, James Potter, and godfather, Sirius Black, and takes place 3 years before Harry was born. The cards were collated and sold for charity in book form in August 2008. On 1 and 2 August 2006, she read alongside Stephen King and John Irving at Radio City Music Hall in New York City. Profits from the event were donated to the Haven Foundation, a charity that aids artists and performers left uninsurable and unable to work, and the medical NGO Médecins Sans Frontières. In May 2007, Rowling pledged a donation reported as over £250,000 to a reward fund started by the tabloid News of the World for the safe return of a young British girl, Madeleine McCann, who disappeared in Portugal. Rowling, along with Nelson Mandela, Al Gore, and Alan Greenspan, wrote an introduction to a collection of Gordon Brown's speeches, the proceeds of which were donated to the Jennifer Brown Research Laboratory. After her exposure as the true author of The Cuckoo's Calling led to a massive increase in sales, Rowling announced she would donate all her royalties to the Army Benevolent Fund, claiming she had always intended to but never expected the book to be a bestseller. Rowling is a member of both English Pen and Scottish Pen. She was one of 50 authors to contribute to First Edition's Second Thoughts, a charity auction for English Pen. Each author hand-annotated a first edition copy of one of their books, in Rowling's case, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. The book was the highest-selling lot of the event and fetched £150,000. Rowling is a supporter of the Shannon Trust, which runs the Toe-by-Toe Reading Plan and the Shannon Reading Plan in prisons across Britain, helping in giving tutoring to prisoners who cannot read.